everybody. Being serenaded by Jimmy James Twyman. Christmas is not a time, it's a state of mind. Really beautiful the way that he put that together and made a beautiful little song out of it. So we're here for our Christmas edition. Serenaded by Jimmy James Twyman. Oh, here, I need to go mess not a time. This with that? All right. Uh, So here we are for our Christmas edition of Is-ness is Your Only Business with Mandi Solk. Good morning, Mandi.
Good morning. That was lovely to hear. I love that. Hi, Lynn. Hi, everyone. It's so lovely to be here.
So
Oh.
lovely to have you. You just seem so bright and pretty. I love it. Joni too. Look at you guys. I'll put on my Christmas background that we had for John Mundy's program yesterday. Let's see. I think Dove might have his on too when he comes in.
Oh, that's lovely.
The pretty little Christmas village. But then I get a halo every time I move around a little bit. So,
Well,
but
you have
that's
quite a
perfect
big
too.
one.
Uh, so how's everyone doing this morning? We all set and ready for the wonderful Christmas. Uh, I know I am for sure. Um, yeah, it was beautiful listening to Jimmy reading The Sign of Christmas is a Star. And yesterday we had a great meeting with John Mundy, and that will be out on YouTube sooner or later. Not sure when, but but it was really really fun.
Usually by Thursday.
Ooh, try that again. I'm not sure because you have Pal Talk on.
Usually by Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, usually by Thursday. So, and I can see why, because unlike us, who we really don't matter to me if things are a little messed up and we have little glitches and echoes and things like that, because that's what's happening. Anyway, so my goodness. Yeah, I was gonna just get us started. I'll just say a little prayer, our beautiful, truly helpful prayer. We are here only to be truly helpful, and we're here to represent the Christ who sent us. And we don't have to worry about what to say or what to do because he who sent us will direct us. And we are content to be right here wherever he wishes, knowing that he's right here with us. And we are healed as we let him teach us to heal. Amen. So, yay. So, um, got a poem ready. I was really interested in this particular poem. Oh, let me do something really quickly before I get that going, because I want to open up something that Mandi sent me, which I had seen on. I'm pretty sure I saw it on Facebook, but it's so beautiful. From Alice, our friend Alice, whose beautiful husband Rod just passed just recently, and um, they are shining gifts in our community. That's for sure. So grateful for them both. And Rod was a great artist, is still a great artist, and so made beautiful stained glass and etc. So
As well, Alice is a great artist, you see, because that thing I sent you, that was all
yes,
her
she is.
mandalas. Yeah, so she's also in her own right. She's a good artist. She's in England at the moment, enjoying being in Oxfordshire. So yeah.
So you had mentioned there was a possibility that you might see her while she's there. I hope so.
She's got an open-ended ticket, so it could even be as late as February or something. So yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So um, And I'm so, Mandy, after a couple weeks ago, you showed us your snowman.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
I searched and
Oh,
searched for where I could find one. Because
Amazon.
you got that on Amazon?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I will have to look again because I did look there, but they gave me other snowmen, but not that one. That's gorgeous. And I love it. And
If you
and
get one, it's worth getting the adapter because although it works by batteries, it eats batteries up. But if you have an adapter, then you can have it on all the time.
I will
Yeah.
have to look that for sure because
Yeah.
I definitely want that one.
Oh.
I fell in love with it. All right, so we have a poem, and this is a poem about. Let's see, get back to the basics about joy, because this is a season of joy, a time of joy, and so this is a beautiful poem about my joy is in being God led. Can you guys see this? Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
is
Yep.
text big enough, etc.?
Yeah.
All right. Would someone like to read the poem? Oh, I don't.
Maybe you read it. You read it. Yeah.
You want me to
Lynn.
read?
Yeah. Go on, Lynn. Yeah.
Okay, I will. My joy is in being God led. Today I am freed from the world of the senses with this focus on getting things or raising defenses, expanding in consciousness and rising ever higher and perceiving my everywhereness. I never tire. I'm flying around with that snowman, clearly discerning the real behind every appearance, the only presence I am beyond all hypnotic interference. The world of things and people are a false external demonstration projected through the senses, showing images of separation. Conscious awareness is the only sense I heed, and resting as that is the end of all need. I am all. No more can be said. All of my joy is in being God led. No self, no suffering. There is no self to own a feeling or emotion that needs healing, nor a past that needs revealing, or a person who needs toughening to cope with all their suffering. And guilt can no more plague a heart in oneness where it has no part. There is no self behind the eyes, yet joy or fear could still arise. But no one's in to sympathize. No self, no suffering, no one seeing that this aliveness here is pure being. What a lovely, 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 lovely poem this is.
I think you could say it any clearer than that.
I know. So gorgeous. But
Is there any
anyway,
more of it, or is that the end of it? It doesn't go to the next page then.
no, that's the end of it.
The end.
Yeah, the little birds on the next page.
Oh, I see.
I had to mess with it to get it all fit.
Oh no. Oh, for me, it's like seeing these for the first time. I'm really grateful for you choosing them, Lynn. It's lovely, like I say, it came through me, but it's so it doesn't feel like I have ever owned it or even written it. When
Right.
when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh yeah. Mm.
It's just gorgeous. And if anyone has any comments, I'll leave it up for a couple of minutes if anybody wants to read part of it or reread it. I had found just so much joy in just reading it. Just
Sounded lovely the way you read it. Yeah. Mm.
so perfect.
Clearly discerning the real behind every appearance. And so settling in the truth. What I'm looking at is projected thoughts, but the reality is ever present and obvious. All I have to do is focus on it. Whether I focus on it or not, it's still here. It's still real. It's still true. And what I'm looking at isn't. I am all. Case closed. God led. Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. There is no self to own a feeling or emotion that needs healing, nor a past that needs revealing, or a person who needs toughening to cope with all their suffering. And guilt can no more plague a heart in oneness where it has no part. There is no self behind the eyes, yet joy or fear could still arise, but no one's in to sympathize. No self, no suffering, no one seeing that this aliveness here is pure being. That's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think this line, there is no self behind the eyes, yet joy or fear could still arise, is where people who study all this stuff and non-duality particularly get very confused and tie themselves in knots with this, because the idea of liberation, which we all have at various times. It's not a having that we have and own, and it's only ours, and and it's there forever. It's because there is no forever. So, we all have times of complete liberation. But that yet joy or fear could still arise. Yeah, people seem to have the understanding. I don't mean us people, but just generally, I mean, I used to have it too. That if you're enlightened, no joy, everything's just wonderful all the time, and there's no joy and there's no fear, and it can't arise. And that's just a complete misunderstanding, which keeps many people trapped and in a continuous cycle of seeking. And that cycle of seeking is a form of suffering, really, because it's avoiding what's here present. And the thing is, joy, fear, or whatever could still arise. But then that next line, but no one's in to sympathize, is the key, because it's only when we so another word for sympathize, no one's into attach to it, no one's into attach, no one's into buy it. They're not buying that thought. So it's only when we take all these thoughts so seriously that we have all this suffering. Of course, joy and fear and stuff could still arise, but we tend to not so much categorize it and call it joy or fear. It's just what's arising. I don't know if anybody is it okay to just to not screen share just for a bit? Is that just for now, just so I can see everybody?
Absolutely. I just wanted to leave it up so
No,
people
no,
could go
absolutely.
if they wanted.
I'm glad you left it there, because I wouldn't have seen those lines. But does everybody here ever heard of, I'm sure you have, I feel stupid saying it really, Sydney Banks? Have you all heard of Sydney Banks? No?
Nope.
Oh, oh,
Well,
Sydney
then
Banks.
see, all your disclaimers are for nothing.
Yeah. Sydney Banks, spell S-Y-D, not Sydney, S-I-D, Sid, S-Y-D-N-E-Y. So he was he a famous enlightened man who died I think it was probably around the 1980s or something. Anyway, he was a Scottish welder. He came from a very poor family and had a lot of problems in his family, and and he was adopted. Anyway, as a result of all this, he was very insecure, very anxious, wouldn't speak very much, and yeah, so had a very difficult life. Anyway, when he was married, his wife did everything she could to help him and tried to push him in directions of things, courses, whatever that could help him. And there was and so he was in Scotland, but and then he moved to British Columbia. I think that was with his family or something. Anyway, there was this course, a psychiatrist. It's basically it was for psychiatrists and psychologists, and it was like a week-long course. And it was in the 70s, this course. So he went along there because he was desperate to sort of get out of this insecure, limited persona. And in the 70s, they were all into bashing cushions, and sort of catharticism and everything, which had its place, and a lot of us have been through that. Anyway, that's what they were all about. And one day, and it cost them a fortune, it cost them all their savings to go. And he turned to his wife after about the second day and said, "Oh, I've made a really big mistake. This isn't helping me at all." Anyway, one day while they were still there, he was walking along the beach and he met another man that was on the course, and he said, "You're not really getting anything out of this, Sydney, are you?" And he said, "No, I'm not getting anything out of it. I think it's a real mistake that I'm still really insecure." And so the man initially just said goodbye and walked along the beach a bit. And then he walked back to Sydney and he said, "Sydney, I've just thought about what you were saying." He says, "It's not that you are insecure, it's that you think you're insecure." Well, when he heard that, oh my goodness, Sydney Banks, everything just dropped away. And then about a few weeks later, when he was back home, in the kitchen where his mother was there and his wife was there and they were cooking, and suddenly in the kitchen, unbeknown to them, he was having a massive experience. He became light, he became everything, and he had an incredible, and he was never the same. And after that experience, like if any of you have heard of what happened to Byron Katie when she had to relearn how to be a human being again. And that's how he was. And from then on, he was a totally different person, completely liberated, stable, and did many talks in America. He moved to a part of Hawaii where Joel Goldsmith and a lot of people have moved, Herb Fitch. And his talks are incredible. And there are some on YouTube. And then there's a man called Dickin Bettinger who's followed his work on, and he does a lot of talks. So, but I just, that poem kind of sums up that truth that we aren't what you could write a list of the things that you think you are, couldn't you? I am this. When the negative mind kicks in, I'm an angry person. I'm I don't know, whatever you call it, an anxious person, whatever. But I am not that. I only think I am. And when you let that truth sink in, it is mega. It really is. And every so often I come back to that one line, and it opens even more doors because we the atonement and that everything that we're learning, over and over in the course of miracles, is a kind of a dissolving of this material idea, this illusion, and forgetting who we are and everything. But it keeps on remaking itself. Although over the years, what the value of the teaching and the studying is that it remakes itself in thinner and thinner and thinner until it's just tissue thin, this veil. And sometimes the veil is seen through completely for longer and longer periods, and that's what the beauty is. So, but something like that, I am not this, I only think I am, has that amazing value to take even more thickness off the thing that we keep remaking. So I don't know if anybody has anything to say about that, but I just find that really helpful. So thank you.
I would like to make a comment on that, Mandy.
Yes, go ahead, John.
It says, and it kind of starts with the opening, like Lynn was talking about glitches and echoes, and this is like living your life with a glitch. I think I'm this, but there is somewhere along the line, a walk along the beach, you get an echo of what's really true, and it's very transformative, and to me, what seems important is to attach the I only think I am to the the I am part of is my identity. I have identity. I can think a lot of things, but once I start thinking I am something, I'm not working at an identity level, which is as primal as one could get. It's not thinking about what's for lunch or anything like that. It's or how to feed the cat, but it's thinking about my identity. So the identification with that is huge, and I can get that. Connect those dots between I think I am blah 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 blah, bringing it back to the Christmas star. As an emblem, a sign. It's an echo of light. That I experienced yesterday. I don't go to church very often, but I was invited to a candlelight service, and I was singing those hymns and songs like it was when I was a kid, Mandy, and it was so great just to be in that environment. It's really like being with all you guys here, and folks. It's like it's like I went to heaven because I am in heaven when I'm in that situation. I couldn't get much closer. So with that. Maybe just allow me to quote Joel's message yesterday. It's to pass on or to die or leave this world, however you wish to express it, in a sense of freedom, means to emerge into freedom with even less bondage to the belief in two powers, and then to live in greater freedom in the transitional stage in which we find ourselves. Always remember the basic premise: God is eternal and immortal, and that means you and I are eternal and immortal because there is no life but the life of God. And that is why you will learn there is no such thing as young life or old life. There's only life. It's an immortal and eternal life from which we cannot escape by dying. Joel S. Gelsworth.
Oh, brilliant. That's great. I was just listening to a lovely video along the same lines by Joel just before, because I'm always doing that. I love that, John. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to add that I was in church yesterday as well. Every so often I go and I love it. I just love it. I find no differences. I do find differences, yes. I mean, they'll sort of talk or sing about that one day Jesus is coming, but that's okay because I just know that Christ is here. Christ is already. He's not coming. He's here, and I just translate. But the rest of it, I just love it. Everybody there loves God in their own way, and you say that the singing and it brings out that innocence. It does. There's a sweetness there. So yeah, but I loved everything you said.
In a sense, he is coming. Christ is coming because it's coming in our awareness at increasing.
Yeah.
So it is coming, and it keeps on coming, and it's so beautiful just to wake up. Like to ever increases that it's everywhere, even in that church by holding a candle.
Yes, definitely. I think so.
It's so beautiful. And in the thing about going to church or going to any of those kind of meetings, no matter what's being said, it's a shared purpose. We're all there for the same purpose. And to reconnect with our Father and reconnect with each other. So, you know, there's wonderful things happen in church. Rafi has his hand up, and then Joni had her hand up also. But go ahead, Rafi.
Last night, while I was asleep, I had this dream. And I'm dreaming and I'm dreaming and I'm dreaming. And the dream, I don't remember what it was. The dream woke me up. When I woke up, my mind wanted to continue the dream. It wanted to perpetuate the dream and justify it, adjust it, fix it, evaluate it, change it, move it, keep it going. And even in that groggy, half awake state, I looked at it and said, "Are you kidding? You try to perpetuate something that isn't real?" And that stopped that process right there, of the motion of trying to perpetuate the dream stop. But then when I woke up, I fell back to sleep, and I woke up this morning and I looked at it. Oh, I only got 15 minutes to get to the Zoom thing, and I said, "Wait a minute, what are you trying to do? What are you getting upset about? What are you getting excited about? What is all of this attention about? It's perpetuating the dream. Hello, wake up again. You just take it easy. Be like, are you getting upset? Gonna get get your teeth brushed and the computer on any faster or any slower? It got after a while, it got, you see the silliness of it all, of how the ego mind was operating, and I was able to step back from it. But isn't that what I'm doing day in and day out? Perpetuating the dream, trying to handle the dream, trying to fix the dream, trying to not make it this way, make it that way. What effort for no reason at all, because it doesn't really exist. It's like in one of Les Levinson's books, if this is all just a dream that never really was, what am I? And then I got into the other thing. Oh, I wanted to thank you again about cute. I use it all the time. I still use it. And I passed it on to other people. I passed it on to people with the Sedona method, in fact, and some people with the release technique. It's so powerful, because then you get to laugh at how ludicrous all of this dream life thing is really. And when it says in the poem about we are the all and the all is now, okay, that says it right all. Thank you for letting me share.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Rafi. All together. And you know, the interesting thing is, for me, what happens is, you're right. You know, once something starts becoming so ludicrous that it doesn't make any sense, I'm like, oh, this must be a dream. And then I wake up. And this is what I'm finding out about this world as I'm looking around at the world and looking around at the things that seem to be happening. You know, I can't go on about politics in America, politics all over the world, everything. You know, when you look at it and realize this is just ludicrous, how could this possibly be true? Then you recognize, oh, it's not true. It's a dream. And I can wake up from it. It's not really happening here. None of it is. But until you've got that dreamscape down, and you know what also happens to me is, this is one of the reasons I maybe have a little bit of difficulty going to sleep at night, because you know I lay down, I do my meditation, contemplation, I'm closing my eyes, I'm getting ready to sleep, and a dream starts happening. Like right away, a dream starts happening, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is not really happening. This is a dream. And so I stop, I'm like, oh man, I'm dreaming while I'm awake. And then, the same thing. Start to go to sleep, dream starts happening. Realize I'm dreaming, wake up. And that's what I think happens is, once we realize that we're dreaming, you can't, like you said, I can't go back and continue the dream. because already I've broken it. I've recognized it's not true and let it go. So I can't go back and, reattach to my long lost love that I saw in a dream or none of those things. I can't do anything because it's already done the minute I recognize I'm dreaming. So, this is, it really is something to pay attention to because, that's what we're here to do is remember that we're dreaming and to wake up from the dream. Joni, did you want to say something?
Yeah, two questions. Thank you, you guys. First of all, Mandy, what is that guy's name? Could you put that in the chat? And I did find the links for Cindy Banks, so I shared those.
Did you mean which name?
The second guy.
Oh,
Bollinger.
Dickin Bettinger. Yes.
Oh dear, your accent. Do you mind spelling it?
I
Look what I did.
in the chat box. I'm not very good. I never look at the chat box during a call because
it's distracting.
It is, yeah. But I'll put it in. Yeah.
All right, and then I'll wait. My question is, thank you, everyone, especially you, Rafi. I've been really trying to let go of the thoughts, asking those 3 questions. My question is, and knowing that I'm not my thoughts, we also can look at them with Holy Spirit. In other words, especially if it's a repeated incident or lesson that keeps coming up, how do I know the difference between spiritual bypassing, just let that thought go, it's not real, it's part of the dream, or if I take the time to sit with Holy Spirit and get guidance of what purpose of this repetitive either dream at night or dream during the day, so that if I understand it, the healing comes from not only surrendering it to Holy Spirit, but loving it and thanking it that it's showing me a deeper purpose. And so help me with that, because it's kind of fun to recognize it's a thought and then just say, get out of here. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to think about that. And whether I should sit with it and ask Holy Spirit to guide me.
It's really simple. If there's a noise in your head, it ain't you. And every thought that you have, we are not our thoughts. We're not, they're not even our thoughts. You didn't purposely think those thoughts. You didn't say, right now I'm going to think this, I'm going to think that, I'm going to think that. These things just keep showing up and running automatically. I forget who said it. Mine is like a recording and playback machine. It only automatically references itself. And so if you're thinking, well, where'd that thought come from? That's a thought. And if we get to the point where we get beyond thought, if you don't identify it, if you stand back and look at them and don't identify that thought as me, I thought that, I think this, I'm thinking that, I'm thinking that. It's just like what let me say about the guy on the beach. You're not that, you think you're that. Well, then the thinking is the problem. And one of the good ways to get rid of that is inquiry is very powerful. If you ask yourself, okay, what's the source of the thinker? Don't answer the question. Just let it sit there. And every time a thought comes up, is that my thought? Or is that, where did that come? That's all part of that process. It never stops. It's a machine. To get to the quiet beyond the thought, and the quiet is obvious and omnipresent. It's ever present. It's never not there. It's like, somebody said, God never gets distracted. It's always there. If you get to the point where you can watch the thoughts and then get to the quiet that is beyond the thoughts, that's transcendent the thought, then that's the reality, because in the quiet, somebody said, in the quiet is all the answers. The quiet is the answer. Without thoughts, what am I? I am. and I am is all there is. That is the allness. I mean, that's why I love the poem that we read this morning is so perfect, because it says all of that. And it says it so eloquently and so clearly. But every time you have it, so we identify with the thoughts. As soon as you identify with the thoughts, you're a dead duck. And you're caught up. I'm not those thoughts. I'm not these feelings. I'm not my mind. I'm not a body. And even saying all of that, you have to use the mind to say, I'm not the thoughts, I'm not the body, I'm not my feelings. But at least it points you in the right direction. And
Thank you.
you can get to the point where you can make the decision to go beyond the thoughts and not identify with them at all as, oh, these are my thoughts, or I'm doing this, or I'm feeling this, or I'm doing that. You can get beyond all of that. I hope that helps.
You are so helpful, Rafi. Thank you, my dear.
John
You're on-
has, John
You're
has,
on-
Thank you, thank you. That was just so perfect and clear. And the idea of we talk about the spiritual bypassing. It's not spiritual bypassing to look at something and say that's not my thought. That's not my thought. I don't know where that came from, but it doesn't belong to me. That's sanity. Recognizing that I'm not that insane thing. John, Sunday, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to add to what Rafi said, and also appreciate, that where we're going with all that thinking, and just reminding us of the poem and the guy on the beach, because but sometimes it can be a bridge too far, and for that's what I would like to offer today, because it speaks to the joy of being God-led. But the big thing is the consciousness awareness is the only sense I heed, and the resting in that is all that I need, because I am the all. So as a clue or as a step, what about the joy part? And that's what I want to go back to what we were talking about. Lynn was talking about things being so ludicrous. So that I kind of start laughing at, and that's what Dove is talking about all the time. You got to laugh, but how are you going to laugh? Well, one of the things is one of the tools that I'm becoming aware of is actually, it's been around for a long time. It goes back to Pavlov's doggy. It's just conditioning. I got to condition myself to this bit by bit by what brings me joy. And one of the tools in that is to look at my goals or my story and exaggerate it to the max. So it really becomes so ludicrous. If I get this goal, it's just going to go. It's just exaggerate it to 100 times. And my solutions, to exaggerate them and how stupid they are. And so that it brings me back to how ludicrous my dream is before, and that's keeping me awake. So. But it's not ludicrous. It's a laughable situation. I can really get that, and I can't laugh and cry at the same time. It's like a dog can't bite you and wag its tail and nothing. It's not. It's wagging its tail because it's happy. And it's the same with us. You when you're happy, you can't be crying tears. Like of misery and grief and sorrow and stuff. It is really time to attach to, start ringing the bell for joy. And there's tools for that. And as I say, one of the things is just to make it so freaking ludicrous what my goals are, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I'd say it's called collapsing anchors in one, and it's actually, when you realize you can't go to sleep, I'm schizophrenic at that point, because my mind is going in two directions, and I need to be unidirectional. What I really want is the joy, is my being God-led. That's the bell that we got to ring. Or I got to ring, excuse me. I don't know what you want to do. It's not my job to tell you that. Sorry.
Thank you, John. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. And that the dropping the anchors, or detaching the anchors, what a great metaphor that is. I love that. And I'm sure somebody teaches that. That's really a beautiful thought. Dove, please go ahead.
All righty. I was listening to everybody and everyone's saying the same thing, but I'm going to add one other little small thing. As you know, on my card, it says, be grateful for your triggers because they reveal your mistaken beliefs. Now, it's easy to say that's not my thought, but why is it there? You know, why is it there? And the course is very clear. Text chapter 2, section 5. Discomfort is aroused only, keyword, only to bring the need for correction into awareness. That's exactly what be grateful for your trigger says. You're going to reveal your mistaken belief. You want to step back and look at the bigger picture, kind of turn the thing around and see the 360 of it. You know, I'm doing this to myself. That's the secret of salvation. And the only reason, and there's no accident you're having that thought. The thoughts don't come up by accident. Thoughts come up for you to take a look at it from a higher place. So when you look at it from a higher place, so, oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm blaming other people. I'm seeing them as wrong. I'm right. They shouldn't have done this. All that stuff kind of comes up as tinsel. You're in Tinseltown now, and you just don't believe any of those thoughts. But you have to see the thoughts to realize that you're doing it to yourself. You have to see it to accept that you're doing this to yourself. That's what forgiveness is. You know, forgiveness is I'm doing this to myself.
Thank you for that, Dove. And yeah, what a great thing to come to understand. You know, that I'm doing it to myself. Carrie, my goodness, I was just going to ask maybe if someone else had something. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. I was just gonna say, I appreciate so much the part of the poem that speaks about joy and fear. Because for me, it's so easy for me to get caught up in if I'm feeling like an unpleasant emotion, whether it's sadness or anger, to always go back to, oh my God, I'm a million miles away from awareness right now. And then from that poem, it just kind of reminds you that, first of all, it's not personal, which is huge. And it doesn't really have to mean anything significant, like I'm failing at this, you know, it's just an appearance. So I feel like you could never be reminded of that enough, at least for me. And I also appreciated other people speaking about that this is going to come up often on a regular basis. It's not like, you know, upon liberation, you'll never get trapped in the ego again, or you'll, you know, so I appreciate that part too. That's really all I wanted to say.
Oh, that's great. You always nail it, Carrie, every time. You know, it is and you see the thing that's confusing about truth in some ways is that there's a simple core to it, but every single view, and I'm not just saying it, we all know this is true, every single thing that everybody's expressed here today is true, you know, it's all true. So it's right what Dov says, definitely, that these thoughts that come up, we're not this business about spiritual bypassing. Yeah, we're not doing that when we're releasing the thoughts, but every so often particularly if you've got a repeating thought, you really do need to just look at it and like Dov said, and see what, you know, what the trigger is, because then you can pull it out. You know, you can pull it out. And I've always found that really useful. But then not to go down a path where I'm trying to psychoanalyze it or anything. That's what I don't want to do. But I do want to look at it, even if it's just really briefly, and see what made it arise. And then the thing that you said, I'm just trying to look at it because I wrote it down the other day. Well, it's the thing about and it's just, let me just get it right. Herb Fitch said it in a tape that I listened to loads of times. ISI is right. So he says is. So I stands for impersonalizing. It's M-I-I-N. I've forgotten the way the initial. Anyway, I forget the way that it goes. It's impersonalizing, nothingizing, and then abiding in, and then silence. So that the first thing is to depersonalize these thoughts, like the guy was saying to Sid Banks, you aren't this, you just think you are. So in other words, he's personalizing it. But when it's just what's arising in that moment, then you are depersonalizing it, And even when we call them joyful thoughts or not joyful thoughts, we're somehow making them a bit personal, even if we don't think we're doing that. We're certainly having a judgment about them, which we don't need to have. And then the next thing is to nothingize them. Now you can nothingize thoughts in all sorts of ways. One is, yes, you could actually look at the thought, believe it or not, even though it seems opposite. You could look at the thought and see what the trigger is. As long as you're not going to make a big drama of it, you're just simply looking at it. Which part of this thought is am I personalizing it? Am I making it personal? Which part do I think is about me? Because that couldn't actually happen, but I'm making it. The other thing about releasing, that's got the same, strength behind it, that we're not making a drama of it. We're looking at it, we're not suppressing it, and then we're letting it go. And then what John was saying is the making it big and then collapsing it. That's a great one. I've done that before when you've made it so big. And my way is to go, yeah, and then, and making it really, really big. And then it collapses by itself because it can't go anywhere. It can't go anywhere, So all these things help to depersonalize it and nothingize it. And then when we've done that, even if we can only manage it for a minute, or not even a minute, a split second, is just stopping and being silent. And because really, when we can be silent, then that's the solution to everything. I'm always mentioning pauses, but when you pause, everything gets solved. I got a letter the other day, and it appeared to say that I owed £1,826 or something. So when I first read that, I thought, oh gosh, oh, like crikey. It's so British, that, isn't it? Crikey. Anyway, and then I just went silent. I thought, I'm not gonna make this into something. I'm just gonna get straight into the silence, just for a minute less. And then I thought, I'm gonna read it again now. And it said that I owed this money from something way back in 2022, but it was all right because it was coming out of this money. In other words, I didn't even have to do anything. It was going to take care of itself, and it wasn't what I initially thought. And it's not going to deplete my pockets, but it's just incredible what that is really just coming back into that silence. But first of all, we have to depersonalize it. We have to nothingize it. And then we can get into that. And that's when you can use any one of these methods, releasing or going, and then what, and then what, and then what, and then what, until it just goes right back in a circle to nothing. And looking at the trigger as well to see what, so that's why there isn't one technique or just one way. I used to think there was. I used to think I've found it now. I've got the right one. And I'd tell everybody that this is the thing. You forget all the rest. Just do this. But that's not true. There are many facets to this, you know. And I find that so interesting because I never know which one of those things is going to come up. I mean, it always involves releasing if it's eventually or straight away. But there are these other things that too, you know, looking at the triggers, the maximizing it till it minimizes. Do you know what I mean? It's also fantastically interesting. That's why these triggers are so much fun. They're fun and they are cute. They are so cute, you know. They're what we're here for. What could be more fun? It's very awakening, isn't it?
Absolutely. I agree with you completely, Mandy. I mean, it really is, you know, when you recognize that I'm in danger nowhere in this world and nothing can harm me, I'm just here for this experience. And, you know, what I want is to maximize the experience so that I have it fully and no longer want it. I already have it. I don't want it. I already have it. And um, you know, that's really the only purpose for all of this is to remind us that there is nothing that we lack, there's nothing that we need, there's nothing we need to fear, there's nothing we need to change. Everything is just perfect the way that it is. And I love how it turned out that you didn't really owe anything and it was already taken care of, because it is already taken care of. Even if I got a letter from the IRS today saying I owe them $100,000, I would know immediately that, you know, that's already taken care of and there's nothing that I need to fear or wonder about. Just let it be and watch it unfold, because, you know, definitely, you know, the answer is there. Um, and I don't need to be concerned about it. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
Rafi,
and just sort of say, you know, Lynn, absolutely what you said. It's about that havingness because all these things that we're doing that are just that we've all mentioned. This is what makes it exciting. It's like for me, it's when I was thinking about it the other day. It's not Christmas Day that's the most fun, not at all. It is the run up to Christmas. That's what I love. It's the process. I'm not bothered about the actual day, never, as much as the fun of it coming together and that and this is what this is about. Otherwise we're chasing our tail for what we believe is enlightenment, or and we either get into ego thinking, oh yes, I'm so enlightened, or I'm not enlightened, or I'm so far from it. All of that is equally nonsense. That you can't be far from it. nor can you know when you've got it really, you know, well, you still got a body, you know. So I mean, it's all this havingness of it already. It's this process. This is what we're here for, not from far off. We all have to drop that thinking of I want this is what I mean. We will have it, you know, we'll have it anyway. You'll think, oh, I just want to be totally liberated, and then drop it. You know what I mean? Because it's a nonsense sort of thing.
exactly.
So,
And
yeah.
really, that's what came to me also very, very clearly. I can't have it and want it at the same time. This is what Rafi's always saying. So, you know, do I want to become something that I'm not? Well, why don't I just be what I am? You know, I don't want to become enlightened. I already am enlightened. I just don't recognize it in myself. But I can't, if I'm trying to become something else, I'm not experiencing what I am right now. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not
rather
doing
want
it
it
here
or
and
have it, isn't it, Rafi? Yeah.
now.
Would you rather
So,
have it? Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly, Lynn. Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, Rafi. And then we're going to wrap it up here in just a bit. We'll reread the poem and then play that lovely little video from Alice.
A couple of quick things. Yesterday, I'm pouring a glass of apple juice, and I got gripped in anxiety. And the first thing I said, well, of course I'm gripped in anxiety because pouring apple juice is a death threat. Well, as soon as I said that, of course, the anxiety went away. And the other thing is, if a thought comes, I look at it and go, oh, what's that thought for? Nothing. It's meaningless, and let it go. And both of those things are very quieting. if a feeling comes up late at any time and it grips me in my gut, in my solar plexus, in my chest, in my throat, something, then okay, it came up to leave. It's doing you a favor. It's not here to battle with you. Everything here is working for you. Everything is working for my ultimate good. That feeling came up to leave. Thank you very much. Love the feeling. Let it go. So I can constantly stay in the flow. And as it was well put, it's never the finality, the finality of things. It's the journey. We are already that. We are already infinite. There's nothing I can do to become free. I am free. All I got to do is get rid of the crap, the thinking stuff that's in the way, so I can see it more clearly. But there's never a moment when we are not that, because that is the only truth. Everything else is just mental imagery, projections, and to get caught up in that and try to fix that just perpetuates it. Thank you.
And not only that, Rafi, if you're in any kind of anxiety, you need to know that you're in anticipation of a negative outcome somewhere down the road. So, like, we got to choose our anticipations. Like Mandi says, and Mandi, I listen to your voice. Every syllable is so important to me because the importance of anticipating joy. I have that as a chance, a choice. I can anticipate joy whenever all this stuff comes up. So thanks again. I just wanted to add that little piece.
Joy is what we are. We are bliss. We are happiness. Those are synonyms for God. Those are synonyms for freedom. Those are synonyms for enlightenment. We are all of that. We are infinite love. There's no way around that. We can dance around it as much as we want, but that's not going to change the truth.
I'm loving this conversation. Thank you guys so much. Joni, please go
Hello
ahead.
to Mickey and Beth, because I can see there's Mickey and Beth on, and I just want to say hi to them. Thank you. Sorry, I'll be quiet now.
I want to thank you guys for this about the journey, because one of the other impactful words that Mandi talks about in her poems is living in parallel. So if I live in the joy of the journey, I can have COVID, which I do, and still be joyful. And that is because of the lessons and all the teachers here. And when I have a thought, and I still have to do what I got to do. I got to go pick up a script. I got to do whatever. I got to blow my nose. I got to cough, whatever. But that's not who I am. What I really am is the joy of this journey. And I just appreciate us meeting weekly. It should be every other day. No, it should be every day. No, it is what it is. I get it. Okay. Thank you. I just appreciate it so much. So thank you. And I'll give it back to you, Lynn.
Thank you so much, Joni. And yeah, and let those little COVIDs run around in you until they're tired themselves out. They'll go away, and then you'll
Well, and I want to add this. I think when I had my MRI and I got the thought, am I trying to cheat death? Even with this, I'm not trying to cheat death now. I'm trying to be having a peaceful, joyful journey, because I'm not going to die, but the body will, and I'm okay with that now, so that I can be present in the moment to have the joy of being with you guys right here, right now, and all the blessings that the Course tells us to be gladdened for. I can find those now. I'm no longer trying to cheat physical death. I accept whatever happens, but I don't want to miss out on the joy. So I'm living in parallel, thanks to you, Mandi, and everybody.
Everybody, thank you. Oh, thank you.
I'm loving this.
Mhm.
So who would like to, Mandi, would you like to reread the poem for us?
Oh, thank you. My joy is in being God-led. Today I am freed from the world of the senses with its focus on getting things or raising defenses, expanding in consciousness and rising ever higher in perceiving my everywhere-ness. I never tire. clearly discerning the real behind every appearance, the only presence I am, beyond all hypnotic interference. The world of things and people are a false external demonstration, projected through the senses, showing images of separation. Conscious awareness is the only sense I heed, and resting as that is the end of all need. I am all. No more can be said. All of my joy is in being God-led. No self, no suffering. There is no self to own a feeling, or emotion that needs healing, or a person who needs toughening to cope with their suffering. And guilt can no more plague a heart in oneness where it has no part. There is no self behind the eyes. Yet joy or fear could still arise, but no one's in to sympathize. No self, no suffering, no one seeing that this aliveness here is pure being.
So lovely. Thank you so much for reading that. Mickey, please go ahead.
I have a question for Mandy. Do you have an audio version of this? Because I love the way you read these poems.
Oh, well, it's
I-
also in the moment, but it's on Audible. That the book is on
It
Audible.
is. Oh, okay. And I don't know anything about Audible. Do you just listen to it or can you have a copy of it?
Well, Audible is an app, you see. So if you
Right.
have an iPhone, you go to the App Store. If you have a non-iPhone, you go to the Play Store, and then you would download the app. And then what it is that you do pay, although when you're new, you get it at a reduced rate. So, I mean, it is to get audio books, it's like £9.99, I don't know what it is in dollars, a month, and you get 1 credit to buy a book. But another thing I can do, and I'm always really happy to do this for people, is I can just record it on my phone and then I can just email you it. So you don't have to buy. If you want to do that, can you send me your email address or ask
Yeah, I'll
Liz?
put it in the chat.
Well, listen, I want to say something here. This is part of your livelihood, and I encourage everybody. I put the recording in the chat. You can purchase it and download it and use
Oh,
whatever
okay.
recording that you have. I think it's a mistake anymore to always expect people to do their livelihood for free. So
Oh, no, I'm happy for for Mandy
I
to.
know you are, but I'm practicing. I'm talking to myself and I'm practicing because I play it. I bought it and I play it every morning, and at least not so often, once a week, I give them this lecture. It's like, please just go pay the $7 and download it, and you'll have it on your phone or your computer, and you can play it on any of your recordings. Yeah, I don't pay for the Audible, but you can own it, and I own it through Amazon.
Yeah,
So
I would love to own a audio copy of it. So
yeah, and
Not to
Angie,
be
as
advertising.
long as it's Mandy who's reading it.
it's Mandy who's reading the entire
Oh.
book.
Awesome.
Then go and look for Choose Only Love, the lovely books by Sebastian. Mandy does a lot of audible recordings, so be be joyful at that. And also, I was going to say, not putting in a plug for Prime, but if you are a Prime member right now, you can get 30 days free on Audible, and then a membership, you pay like $7.95 a month and you get one title a month.
Yeah.
That
That and let me just say that you get one title that you can own.
Yeah, they don't
yes.
take it away from you.
They won't take it away.
like iTunes. If you get some tunes and then you cancel your membership, they take all your recordings away. But on Audible, you get to keep everything you've downloaded, even if you cancel. So you can have that 30-day trial. You can download the book, and then you can cancel it, so you don't have to pay anything. You see.
Stop that, Mandy. Jeez, oh, Pete. There
Oh,
is
Tony,
the,
thanks.
there is the link. Please purchase it and download it. Gee.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, Dove, go ahead.
So the truth is, I have 7 credits in my what is it called again?
Audible?
Audible.
I'd be more than glad to send books to you, but I don't know how to use Audible, so I need somebody who really knows, so I can send a book to Mickey or send a book to Rafi or anyone who wants a book. I have 7 credits. I want to use them up, and I want to stop Audible.
Yeah, talk to Prudence. She's the pro.
Speak to who?
Prudence.
I've spoken to Prudence. You know what she says? Send everything to you.
I know that.
I know how to do it, though. I'll help
you.
Okay.
You're willing to give me some time. And
yeah, I'll gift you that for Christmas.
I'll send a book to Mickey and anybody else.
Okay.
Very good.
I'll help you if you can just be patient till after Christmas.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to close out. We're going to play this lovely video from our dear friend.
Before we do,
Yes.
I just want to thank you so much, because you know all these things happen because of what you're doing, and you know for me to be able to express my stuff through the book and through this Zoom, I mean it's just the greatest gift, and I can't put into words how much I appreciate and grateful, because I wouldn't have gotten to know all these wonderful people in this group who I love so much and see you every week if it wasn't for you. So you know, and for Dov for mentioning it, for mentioning me to you in the first place. So this Christmas time, you know, thank you so much. You are amazing, and just please know that. Well, you do know that, I hope. Yeah.
Yeah, I love you too, Mandy, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
What a
Yes.
wonderful.
And happy Hanukkah and all the light holidays. So
That's
enjoy.
right. All right. So here we're going to hear something beautiful and see something beautiful.
So these are mandalas by Alice as well, you know, and Rod is playing the music in the background, but the stained glass things are his. Yeah, I'll shut up now.
Thank you. Can you all see it? Okay. Is this it? Okay.
You've got a different one up.
Okay, this is not it.
It's a different one you put up.
Okay, you
The
know
Vienna
what?
voice.
You've put Christmas blessing. Oh, that looks like it. Yeah, man.
Because yeah, it just moved forward on me without me asking it to. So here we go. There, it's doing it again. Stop that. Those want me to hear that. Beautiful. And that last and the first was stained glass. that Rod did also. He's a marvelous stained glass artist.
Something. Yeah.
Thanks
Will you
y'all
be-
so much.
Will you
Thank
share the
you.
link, please?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Let's see.
Yeah.
Give me the link without going to another,
Yeah.
you know. It just wants me to everywhere. All right, you guys. I love you all.
You have a wonderful Christmas. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. No, I'm looking forward to it. So, all right, you guys. We'll talk to you